Welcome, welcome. It is wonderful to have you here today, back on Radio Row. It is day 3, and I'm going to tell you the elements have changed in this room. Today is the first day. It actually feels like there's about to be a Super Bowl here in the Bay Area. Welcome back to Damon Brews Plus. My name is Damon. It's great to be here. We're here thanks to our good friends at ShowUs.tv, which is this new streaming technology that we're using this week, which allows you to join the conversation. Don't be shy. You can sign up for a ticket right now. You can come on in and join us today. We are going to have Titans defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons joining us in just a little bit. He's got a new head coach. His name is Robert Saleh, so we're going to talk to him about that. And you want to talk about an apple not falling far from a tree. I'm really excited to let you know that we're going to be talking to Ed McCaffrey today. Christian McCaffrey's father is going to be joining me right here in just a little bit, and we certainly have an awful lot to talk about with that guy. My goodness, what an athlete he's developed. And today, Christian McCaffrey is winner of the NFL Salute to Service Award with all the work that he does with veterans and military families. So just a proud day, I'm guessing, for Ed McCaffrey, and we're going to have him brag about his son for a little bit when he comes on down and sits next to us. But it is really good to have you here. We want to thank so much our sponsors that make all of this happen. We are brought to you, again, by ShowUs.tv today. We want to thank them. We want to certainly thank my man Ike of Ike Sandwiches, who I was texting with this morning. He says he's going to be down here handing out sandwiches, a whole bunch of Damon Bruces to feed the mass people and the media. Really excited about that. And if you want to get excited about an Ike sandwich, what I want you to do is to know that this is what you want to bring to your big game party. You want to show up with some Ike's catering. And right now, when you use code SAVE49, you save $49 off of any catering order of $250 or more with my man Ike. So check that out. Our good friends, as always, at the Dubliner West Portal. We love you. And even though I got no graphic to pop up, I can tell you we are also brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper is America's fastest growing fantasy app. Incredible payoffs. You can make your own props. You can put it all together yourself. Check out the best user interface you're going to find anywhere and use promo code Damon to save $100 or have $100 matched up to your first deposit of $100 over on Sleeper, and you can click on the link that is right in the top of the description of this video to get all of that done. Thank you so much for being here. I got to tell you, I'm really appreciative to be here, but there's one thing I've noticed in this Super Bowl as opposed to all the other Super Bowls that I've ever covered. I have never, in any Super Bowl coverage I've ever done, feel like the game meant less than this one does so far. I have talked to just about every single media member in this room around me. I've been asked more about Steph Curry, Giannis trade rumors, the Golden State Warriors. I've been asked more about Indiana football than I've been asked about any element of this football game. Look at the celebrities just walking around. How are you, Dave? Good to see you, man. But it's unbelievable how little this game is actually being talked about so far. Tomorrow, we're going to get into gambling. We're going to bring in a gambling expert who wants to go ahead and be a winner chicken dinner on Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to have a VSiN expert stop on by. I think Jim Gray is also scheduled to join us later in the week. Annie Agar, whose mandatory NFL meetings, she is supposed to stop on by later in this week. So we've got a lot more coming up for you as we get closer and closer to the game. And I'm looking forward to all of it. I'll tell you, though, outside of Sam Darnold being a very good story, there's not a lot of star power anywhere in this game. And that's funny to say because the New England Patriots used to drip with about as much star power as a football team was allowed to drip with, from owner to head coach to the starting quarterback, to the tight ends. I mean, to the guys in the secondary. I mean, the Patriots used to drip with household names. This time around, not so much, which is certainly a testament to the job that Mike Vrabel's done. And I will also tell you that when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks, again, Sam Darnold is a great story, but there's not a lot of star power there. And there's certainly not a lot of star power anywhere else on that team. As a matter of fact, I think that if you walked around San Francisco and just randomly picked people out and just showed them like a quad box of faces and said, who's the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks? I wonder how many people would be able to actually pick him out. I wonder how many people would be able to tell you that Mike Vrabel was the head coach of the Patriots. Now, this is not for the diehard fan. The diehard fan will, of course, know. But the casual interest of this game feels less than so far. There's no doubt about that. The Patriots, we've got provincial teams. And even though the Patriots used to have that media machine just working for them and around them all the time with their proximity to ESPN, of course, that media machine isn't cranked up like it used to be. And we also, without a doubt, know for a fact that Seattle's never had a minute of the media machine ever working for them, period. Even with the Richard Sherman, Legion of Boom, Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, Marshawn Lynch, for goodness sakes, even all of those fans, even all of those players didn't bring that much attention to Seattle. What's going on, man? How are you? Got a guy walking around dripping in Niners gear. So I guess he knows who I am. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. He just took my picture. I feel so sexy. Anyway, the Patriots media machine needs to get in overdrive. The Seahawks media machine, there isn't one, basically. But that needs to start kicking it up, and it will. The closer we get to the game, the more the actual game is going to be discussed. But so far, it feels like it's one of the least discussed topics in this room, which is really something else. One of the interesting things that I saw today, and we're going to be talking about how apples don't fall far from trees when we have Ed on to talk about his son, Christian McCaffrey. But it's probably too early to be reevaluating any draft class, but that didn't stop ESPN from doing it today. And some interesting notes, and hard to disagree with these notes, that ESPN put forward about redrafting the 2025 draft class. Now, we will talk to Jeffrey Simmons about this because they still have Cam Ward going number 1 overall. Cam Ward, I know, had a challenging rookie season, but a very good rookie season indeed. He is absolutely a guy who put some weeks together that make you say, all right, keep investing in him. There's something there. There's no doubt about that. When it comes to the 49ers, once again, we're seeing early disappointing returns in the first-round pick. Now, we will absolutely say, Mykel Williams shut down with an injury about halfway through the season. So that took an awful lot of what we would see from him as he got him better and improved. They took it right off the board. It really did. But right now, in this latest, here's how the first round should have been drafted, Emeka, they basically have Emeka Egbuka of Tampa coming to the 49ers, and he should have been the pick. They've gotten Mykel Williams falling out of the first round entirely. Now, I don't know if that's fair, but if they did have Egbuka, oh my gosh, could you imagine what the Niners passing game would have looked like? He had an incredible tear early on in his rookie year, fell off a little bit at the end, but you could say that about everyone on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. Upton Stout, though, who the 49ers took with the 100th overall pick, Upton Stout would have moved into the first round. In the ESPN redraft, they had Stout going to the Rams, 26th overall. So if they lost value on Mykel Williams, they certainly gained an awful lot of value when they took Upton Stout in the third round, who they're saying would be a late first rounder this time around. And if you watch Niner football, it didn't take you long to really fall, if not into love, certainly into like with rookie Upton Stout, who I thought was their best rookie contributor. They still have the 49ers taking Alfred Collins at number 43 overall. So that's a pick that fell about where it should, according to ESPN, and I would say that that's a fair assessment of his year. He had a really decent year for a rookie. He was asked to do an awful lot. He was probably asked to do too much. And he filled the bill. He made some really big plays throughout the year. So I don't think there's any problem with Alfred Collins at all. I'd like to really see C.J. West join the party next year in terms of, man, that was a great draft pick that the 49ers made. So, look, I got a nice compliment today from a guy who's been following me for a very, very long time. He was a former Raider defensive lineman, by the way, too. I want to make sure that we pay proper credit here. Oh, of course, Wi-Fi is not working with all the people in the room. quite like it is right now. But a very nice compliment. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring it up. Oh, no, this is dying quickly here. But J.J. Kindred basically said, in a world where so much sports media is just, here's a list, look at a list, somebody else came up with a list, I'm going to read the list. It's something that I don't do, and I really appreciated that. And he said that in the world of sports journalism, there are a few old dogs who still bark with some credibility, and he included me among that, and I want to say thank you very much. What I do know, as I'm looking at the news today about what happened at the Washington Post, the disintegration of the Washington Post sports department is something that is just impossible to understand. It's impossible to understand. When you look at the disintegration of the overall newspaper, the Washington Post, and what has happened to them over the last 24, 48 hours, and what has happened to journalism when you just look all around, folks, all I can tell you is that the death of journalism is the plan. It's not an unintended consequence. It's not an, oops, didn't mean to have cuts that deep, and here's where we are. This is the plan. Media is absolutely under assault, and it's under assault by powers that don't want to lose power. And the number one way to get you to question media all the time is to just denigrate it. And there's certainly someone out there who has spent all of his time talking about how you should distrust media, because media is the gatekeeper of truth. And muddling the truth is now, without a doubt, the game plan. Again, the lies that you get told, the lies that you're being fed as you watch a video and people are telling you what you're seeing in this video is not what you're actually seeing in this video. Those lies are not told to you to make you believe that moment of the other side of the truth. They're constantly sold to you to make sure that you question everything. That the line between the truth and lies is so thoroughly blurred that you become agnostic, that you don't even pay attention anymore. That is the goal of what we are looking at. From powers that be, from internet distributors, from social media companies, to the government itself. There is a plan to make everyone dumber and angrier, to turn everything into tribal warfare, to keep us yelling at each other, not actually holding power accountable. And what is happening today at the Washington Post is yet another example of, well, the rich guy in the room could come and save us. The rich guy in the room isn't coming to save anyone but himself and his own interests. Jeffrey Bezos, who owns the Washington Post, has more money to sink into a failing newspaper than anybody in the world and still make a profit every single year. Maybe not in the paper, but if he wanted to really turn that paper into something that mattered, he could. He's done the exact opposite of that, and it's been done with intention and attention. There's no doubt. There's no doubt we are living in some dark and scary journalistic times. So when you find someone, not that you like, but someone that you find credible and trust, don't let a single message say, well, you went into a subject that I normally don't like, so now I'm not going to pay attention to anything you do. That is literally the enemy of free thought. I know this is a little stoic for a Radio Row show, but the news coming out of Washington today is serious business. As I've always said, sports is the toy department of life. We get to absolutely walk around the toy store while other sections of the newspaper are covering much more important things. But the true importance, the true importance of the sports page is it unifies people. Everyone in business likes sports. Everyone in politics likes sports. It doesn't matter how politically you lean. I bet you like sports. It's a common place. It's a common touch point. So now more than ever, the erosion of a sports department to me looks like a sinister choice. Even as you have one of the last truly great sports newsrooms in the country, and that was the Washington Post. There was legends that came out of there. Wilbon, Kornheiser, Maury Povich's father, Shirley Povich, was a legend there. And It's gone. Like, there's no sports page in the Washington Post. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's just amazing what is happening out there. It's amazing. It's depressing. It's scary. Again, as somebody who is without a doubt, lowercase j journalist, and that's what I am. I'm a lowercase j journalist. It is staggering the time that we are living in. And people who dismiss it, people who tell you, well, nobody reads newspapers anymore, and that's just the flow of it. No. That is not what's going on here. Why isn't there a Department of Education anymore? It's not to make people smarter. The erosion of curiosity, the erosion of people looking for actual news is happening all around us. Now, what I'm excited to do is get you right back to football. And thank you so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. Jeffrey Simmons is nice enough to join us. Let me make sure you're in the picture here, Jeffrey. Hold on. There you are. You're in the picture, and I'm thankful for that. We are set up. My name's Damon Bruce, man. It's a real pleasure to meet you. Let's get that up to your mic. Right. There we go. Now we can hear you. Let me tell you, man, you're a badass football player.
Appreciate
I absolutely love your game, and because I cover the 49ers, I absolutely love your new head coach. And let me tell you, I think this is going to be something that has already taken a fabulous career and take you to the next level. I really think that's about to happen for you. Tell us what you think of Robert Saleh, and did you go in and say, hire this man?
I didn't tell them that I wanted Coach Saleh there. Of course, going through that process, I knew what type of, talking to Bart Gunzy, I knew their vision. I knew they wasn't going to mess this up. But I would say I did, when we played the 49ers after the game, of course, walking by Coach Saleh and shook his hand and telling me I'm a hell of a player. At the end of our conversation, I was like, you'll be in Tennessee next year, right?
Tampering charge.
Hey, coming from a player, I think we good.
I think you're fine. You're fine.
But no, man, it's. I think we're gonna be just fine. To hear his mindset, to hear the way he thinks, to know, to talk to some of the players that he didn't have. Everybody was like, bro, you are going to love him. Not just a football coach, but the type of man he is off the football field. So yeah. I'm excited.
Hey, Bach, can you turn his mic up just a little bit? There we go. The coach that you have, look at the success that he had with Quinnen Williams, who's obviously built to be a badass right from the get-go. Alfred Collins, rookie D tackle. CJ West, rookie D tackle on the 49ers this year. Watch them both improve throughout the entire year. I think Robert Saleh is going to be good for the team, but you specifically, I mean, what he has done with talented defensive tackles, you can't ignore it, man. He's really good at this position.
That's the reason why I was so excited. Or when you have especially a defensive head coach who's, he going to focus on the defensive line.
Yeah.
That's really that what got me excited, especially once we made that hire. And that's the first thing I thought about. I thought about the defensive tackle he had, like guys like Quinnen Williams, and then the guys, the rookies here in San Fran. You saw the growth in everyone he didn't coach. You talk to these guys. I talked to DeForest Buckner. I talked to them guys that I know that have a lot. That I have a lot of respect for. That play this game at a high level. And everyone have nothing but good things to say about Coach Saleh. And like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited to take my game to the next level, another level. And, from what he's saying, he told me, you getting out that fraud stand. You just finna get up, attack the line of scrimmage, get in, play in the backfield. And that's my style. I want to play in the back on the other side of the line of scrimmage. I want to be aggressive. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'll tell you, you're just an incredible player. 11 sacks this year. Obviously, a rebuilding, frustrating year for everyone involved. They'll go through a football season, come out of it with 3 wins. It's got to weigh on you, but you also see the big picture that's happening in Tennessee. And obviously, Cam Ward, I just thought, had a spectacular rookie year. You saw the flashes. You saw the number 1 overall pick in his talent. Tell us where you are just in your mindset of being a Tennessee Titan and where you think the growth of this team gets you in the next year or two. And then, man, 2 years from now, you're moving into a brand new palace in 2027, and it feels like that's the year to start really aiming at. This is when we are going to really matter in this league?
I would say, man,
I know you're ready to matter next game, week 1. I know that.
It haven't been a time, especially this past season, you have them thoughts like, man, I just want to win. I want to win. I just want to win. I want to win. But when you have a rookie class this rookie class that we had, from DK, first team All-Pro, returner, Pro Bowler, Cam Ward, you saw the growth. You saw the growth of all our young guys.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me so excited to be back in Tennessee. Not be back in Tennessee, but the future in Tennessee. I'm excited. Of course, with the contracts and all of that, we all know what it is. To want to be in Tennessee the rest of my career, that's what I want. I want to retire Titan. The ownership know that. The Borguns and them know that. I enjoy Tennessee. They took care of me. They drafted me in Tennessee. So, when you hear the vision of Mike Borguns and Chad, you talk to them guys, and now with Coach Solly, you get excited. Like I say, it's hard to picture it because it's like I haven't been to the playoffs my last 4 years.
Right.
So it's like, man, last 4 years, and I'm like, man, I just want to get to the playoff. I want to go to the playoff. I want to compete for a Super Bowl. And them things, it's like you tell them, you tell other people that, you're like, you sure? Like, you want to be in Tennessee?
Look, I think letting Vrabel go took you off course.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're going to be put back on course with Robert Saleh. I really do believe that. He talks about playing with violence, and man, do you play with violence. And also, I got to tell you, I think you had one of the lines of the year in the NFL when you were playing the Bears, and you say, I want to knock the fingernail polish off of Caleb Williams. I thought that was hysterical. And for a minute, I was like, this guy's got a great sense of humor, and would also just lets everyone know that you are the man on that field. There's only one guy out there wearing a red sleeve. When did you have this is my signature, no one else do this meeting in that locker room? Because no one else tries to look like you out there.
I just try to, because I always wore sleeves. Like I wore sleeves. In college, though, it was always just all up to my
the elbow.
But it was, I want to say, maybe my second year, because my first year, I'm like, I need to establish myself. But after my first year, I'm like, all right, I'm tired of looking a little basic out here. I'm looking basic. Then my family is in the suite, and of course, being in the suite, it's like we don't really sometimes know who you are, because some of y'all look the same. So I'm like, how can I separate myself?
It's a nice first world problem, by the way. All these sweet seats, I can't identify the players.
So, especially when they wear glasses, they forget their glasses. Like my girlfriend, she forget her glasses sometime at home. And then I'm like, okay, how can I separate? What can I do? So it was a red sleeve. And of course, I just try to be the most swag D-Tac in the league.
You got it. You absolutely got it, and you play with it, man. By the way, I was looking this up. Your next game will be your 100th NFL game. Right there, you deserve a big congratulations.
Yep,
this league just chews up guys and spits them out. So for you to already be 100 games into a career that's got no end in sight, man, I expect big things for you and Saleh and Tennessee in the coming years. This is absolutely a team that is on the rise. Can I ask you a little bit about what it was like to come into Levi's Stadium and play the 49ers this year? As you were going up against their offensive line, you're in the middle, you're playing against Dominic Pooney, you're playing against Brendel, you're playing against Spencer Burford. You're not really having to worry about the tackles. You're in the middle there. Tell us what you thought of the 49ers offensive line.
I'm not going to say I didn't have to worry about the tackles, because Trent because the way our defense aligned and set up, sometimes I may have to line up in the 4-eye and go against Trent, which I did one time, a couple of times in the game, to where maybe I had to get out to contain. And going against the offensive linemen, they work very well together. You can tell they well coached. When you have an offensive lineman who not just individual, because, even guys like Trent could be, and he's a Hall of Fame tackle. He could go about things and be like, I'm going to do it my way. But you could tell the way they do their blocking scheme, the way they try to block, especially 3 technique, you could tell they very well coached and they work together really good. So it was a when you getting ready for them type of games, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. Like, I was hyped. Like I'm like, I want to go against Trent. I want that matchup, because the hype they have. The hype. Which you see how far they got in the playoff. Like, it's a good football team, and to be able to go against them guys, and you got McCaffrey in the backfield. That's a good football team, and it was a challenge for us, and we battled with them, and that's the reason why for me, the reason why I play this game of football. I enjoy going against good teams. I enjoy going against guys like Trinity.
Well, and that's what separates you from just other guys who play the position. You want the biggest challenge on the field, man.
Most definitely.
That's why you're a captain of this football team. That's why you get the red sleeve. It's not because your girlfriend forgot her glasses. You get the red sleeve because you officially stand out. Tell us a little bit about this new stadium that is coming in 2027, though, because it looks like one of the coolest buildings that the NFL's got coming.
Well, I mean, I've been seeing pictures. I drive by. I actually drove by. I want to say right before I got here, before I left Tennessee, and I'm like, man, this stadium is coming along. They working really fast on it. I'm excited. I haven't just yet actually been on the ground, and you know how people go and tour and look at it. That is one of my goals. I do want to go and check it out, but it's also on the other side. I'm like, I don't want to go into actually 100% done.
So you're ready.
To this ready, and I'm excited about it. Like I said, I want to retire a Titan. I want to be able to play in the new stadium. I want to be able to, hopefully bring a Super Bowl to that new stadium. And so
I know it's part of the job. What was it like to play through the trade rumors that were attached to you this year? And by the way, I mean, the trade rumors, it might take away from focus, but it's a compliment to how good you are and how coveted your skills were. Do you look at it that way? Is it a glass half full or is it a glass half empty situation to hear your name come up in trade rumors?
Well, I would say I was never worried about being traded.
Okay.
When you have them type of conversation with the GMs and
they're like, let the media run with it, but they don't know. You're not going anywhere.
I didn't speak on it. I was just like, whatever, it is what it is. I'm sure, which I know teams called, but they all got to know because I knew, and with me, the front office, we're on the same page. And I knew they wasn't going to move me. And like I said, when I say we're on the retired Titan, it's not just coming from me. I think we're all on the same page, and I'm excited to hopefully be one of the three players because it's hard. I don't think there's many players in this league that retired with the team that they came in with and play their whole career there. So I'm looking forward to that. Well,
I'll tell you, man, you are absolutely state of the art. You play with leverage. You play with violence. Your hands are weapons. Absolutely. By the way, nice manicure. I see you got some polish on there. Looking good holding that microphone. It's a real pleasure to meet and talk to you. I think you're one of the single best players in all of football. And it was a pleasure here. Everyone's here to promote something. Tell us what you're here to promote today, or you just kicking it? I'm just kicking it. I have been talking about my foundation. I do a lot of foundation work with my foundation called Give Them a Reason. Got an Instagram, got, organized page to where, my foundation is surrounded by the youth. Each and every day I step into the community, you realize that, our community need us, and especially our youth. And that's the reason why I base my foundation around the youth. They're trying to build self-esteem. Like what age groups are you working with? It doesn't matter. We start the youngest. I do things to where, like I just did a sack initiative this past season. To every sack was $920. $920 to the Hero program in Nashville, to a sport equity thing, to where it helped young kids who maybe can't go get a field school. I donated to this organization in Nashville, to maybe they need helmets, maybe they need clothes, or whatever it may be. I just wanted to be able to do things like that because you just never know what people are going through. And absolutely, I've been involved with a Bay Area charity here for years. I'm from San Francisco, and we work with Bay Area at-risk youth. And if people even understood how many kids fit under the umbrella of at-risk youth, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. So it's wonderful that you reach back into the community and help out. Tennessee's lucky to have you. And it was a real pleasure to meet you, man. I know it's a busy day. You got a lot of these to do. Thank you so much for coming on by my show. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Jeffrey Simmons. This is a serious football player right here who is about to have a Hall of Fame career. A Hall of Fame career. Robert Saleh is going to bring it out of you, man. There's no doubt in my mind. He is a special football player. And when we were talking about trade rumors, maybe that was just me Maybe that was just me and Larry Krueger bringing that up because we really hoped the 49ers might have traded for Jeffrey Simmons. But that guy is a hell of a football player and a real nice guy. So glad we were able to meet him. Thanks very much for him for stopping on by. It's the Super Bowl. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm just looking at a breaking news story right here. The Dallas Mavericks have traded Anthony Davis to the Wizards as part of an 8-player trade. Oh, okay. Look at the NBA just encroaching on what was a week of just Super Bowl news and noise. The NBA with this trade deadline is all over. Again, I've been asked more about Giannis than I have the Super Bowl here this week. Let me look at this trade. I got to click on this. The Mavericks are trading Anthony Davis to the Wizards as part of an 8-player trade. The Mavs get Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Malachi Brannon, Marvin Bagley III, 2 first-round draft picks, 3 second-round draft choices. The Wizards also get Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum in the trade. The Mavericks have been exploring the market for Davis, who's 32, since Nico Harris. So it's pretty safe to say that the Lakers have won the Luka trade. Oh, my God. By the way, did you see James Harden is now in Cleveland? Hey, whenever you can add a playoff performer and a winner like that, you do it. What a loser James Harden is. Seriously, I would not want him on my football team or on my basketball team under any circumstances. Guy disappears in the postseason. Totally disappears. Fraud. So when your scoring average is totally dependent on how many times you get to the free throw line, and that doesn't happen in the postseason like it does in the regular season, that's when you get exposed. Don't believe me? Ask Joel Embiid. But wow, Anthony Davis is a Washington Wizard. How the mighty have fallen. How about that? Again, thanks very much. Got to see an awful lot of the regulars in the chat here today. Thank you. DB, Watch Pluribus is a super that I got from Yosh. And I'm going to tell you, my wife and I have already crushed the first season of Pluribus. It was fan-freaking-tastic. Started slow. I kind of wanted to give up on the show. By the first 3 episodes, I was ready to walk away because I didn't like her, the main character. I just thought she was handling the bad situation as wrong as you could possibly handle it. Like, how do you have no curiosity as to who these people are? Why are they here? I don't want to spoil it, but it does get better, and it gets really good. So, yes, I did watch Pluribus. Thank you very much for the super chat. So, Rob, Dakota was a great guest yesterday. Where's Dakota today? People are want to know. I even on my podcast, I put up today, we have a very cool interview with a guy who I've never even heard of. I think you're going to really like it. So you have heard of Jeffrey Simmons. He is just an absolute badass, and it was a pleasure to make his acquaintance, man. That guy is going to blow up under Robert Saleh. He's already a hell of a player. Again, 11 sacks last year. The guy's basically got a sack for every other game he has played in this league. He's played 99 games. He's got about 45 sacks. It's unbelievable what this guy has done. In a little bit, we're going to be joined by Ed McCaffrey. We're looking forward to seeing him. There's my man Ike, who's coming on by with a truckload of sandwiches. And what's going on, Hollywood? It's good to see you guys. I'm on live right now, but we'll talk in a little bit. As a matter of fact, you want to come on now? Come on over for a minute. Come on over. I tell you about Ike's all the time. Come sit right here. I mean, how can I not say come on in to one of my most important sponsors and dear friends that I have? And you are here to feed the masses once again. Ike picked up that mic. Say hello.
Hello. Great to see you. I've already given away like 10 or 12 Damon Bruce's even just walking over here.
Dude, the people know. The people know where the good sandwiches are. And they're coming from you. And, you know, it's a Super Bowl. It's all about rings. We got rings on the sandwich, and that's why it works. How are you, man? You have been everywhere lately. You're opening up stores all over the place.
Been growing, blowing up, traveling, teaching, speaking, eating, feeding people.
I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of you. To watch it happen is just the best. Did you see the Dave Lombardi sandwich breakdown of how San Francisco is the greatest sandwich city in America now? I totally believe him, man. I agree with it. And he does rightfully call you the man who started it all, the godfather who started it all in this town.
I appreciated that shout out from David, and that video was great.
It really was. It really was. One of the things I absolutely love the most about you is you don't look at other people trying to join the game as competition as much as you encourage it. That to me is what just separates you from a lot of businessmen. A lot of businessmen are trying to muscle out the competition. It's something that you encourage. And that's what I love about you, man.
You always want to go against the best in anything, whether it's sports or business or restaurants. And so Adam from Deli Board, great place. My favorite spot to eat when I'm out here. I'm going to make sure when I'm in San Francisco to eat there. And then Sal at M-Stop.
Oh,
I love
so
that
good.
spot too. I haven't been to Lay Sandwich yet, but
I haven't either.
Check it out.
That's the one place that I haven't been to either. So I do have to check that out. M-Stop's right by where Jillian and I live. It's not too far away from us. So I do pop in there every now and then. And I feel, instead of feeling like, oh, I'm being disloyal to Ike, what I'm like, I'm helping a new local business, and I know that you love that.
Sal is great. I love helping him. We were texting before today. I gave him a shout out for his video. I was like, dude, I saw you on this killer video yesterday. Great job.
That's awesome. So where were you? You just flew in from somewhere. Where were you?
Right now, where was I? I was in Phoenix. Before that, I was in LA for the Grammys. That's probably where you saw on my...
Yeah, I saw some red carpet stuff from you. How's feeding people at the Grammys this year?
You know, what's really great is how I'm probably your favorite musician's favorite celebrity.
Sandwich, absolutely. Dude, I remember the shout out that you got from Billie Eilish on, what was it, the Late Show?
The Late Show, yeah. That's my girl, Billie. She cleaned house, I guess. She got some Grammys.
Absolutely. She picks up all the time. It is great to have you. I know you just walked in with boxes of sandwich. It's great to see your brother. I'm going to let you do your thing and get underway, but I just wanted to say, great to see you. I'm going to have a sandwich in just a little bit. Save one for me. And thank you for all you do for this channel, man. It means the world.
You're very welcome. Great seeing you, too.
Good to see.
We'll be feeding you all week.
There's Ike of Ike Sandwiches. Thank you, brother. Good to have you. Pop on in. Had to do that with Ike. That's the man right there. Get yourself a friend like Ike. Please let Ike know his veggie options are amazing. There you go. Please let Ike know his veggie options are amazing. He knows. He knows these things. It is amazing. Look, I don't dive deeply into vegetarian options. I got to tell you that right now. But he's really good at what he does. And again, you can get territorial or you can help people grow. What I love about Ike's is he wants to help people grow. Speaking of helping people grow, my next guest is the father of one of the single greatest football players I've ever had the privilege to actually watch and cover on a daily basis. Ed McCaffrey is sitting down right here. Ed, let me give you your mic, and thank you so much for being here. Let's make sure you're tuned up, tuned on. There he is. We got him. Ed, Damon, Bruce, thank you very much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I got to tell you, I'm old enough to remember it all, man. You were a badass. You were such a great football player. We'll get to your son in a second, but it was you were spectacular to watch.
Well,
it was great watching you play.
I appreciate it. You probably wore out that VHS machine watching our old tape.
Here, let's move this up just a little bit more because it's so noisy in here.
Yeah.
But look, I have always said, and this is never, I've been broadcasting in San Francisco, based out of San Francisco for almost 25 years now. And it's never made me friends out here, but I've said possibly the single most skilled, greatest quarterback of all time was John Elway.
Yeah, John Elway was the best.
Elway was the man.
He was unbelievable. He was like, I got to play with him when he was a living legend already. Had already been to a bunch of Super Bowls. You know, Jack Elway, his dad was my coach at Stanford.
I know that. Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons I went to Stanford. I absolutely loved Coach Elway and wanted to play for him, and he believed in me, and I believed in him and played as hard as I could while I was there and while he was there. And I got to meet John. We were playing CU, and he met his dad for breakfast, and I got to meet John. And when he walks in the room, he was a presence. Never knew I'd be playing with him and winning a couple Super Bowls with him years later. But when I got to the team, I already knew all about him. He's a Stanford guy, played for his dad. He was legendary, but, the narrative was he hadn't won a Super Bowl yet. And so to be able to be the guy that was in the back of the formation, that victory formation, right behind John, when he took the knee, when we won Super Bowl 32, I think about that play almost every day. I got to watch John Elway take a knee, the Denver Broncos win our first Super Bowl championship ever. He turned around, he was laughing, he was crying, he was smiling. It was like a lifetime of commitment of one of the all-time NFL greats, all wrapped into one. one moment. I remember watching the clock because I'm in the back, right? In case someone slaps the ball or something, I'm supposed to fall on it. So I'm looking at the ball, looking at the clock, and it seemed like an eternity. It's frozen in time for me.
I bet.
The pixelation, literally, of the numbers on the clock from 3, it seemed like an hour and a half, to 2, and like, oh, this clock is never going to hit 0 to 1. And it's the greatest sports memory that I've ever had. It's unbelievable. And John Elway was right there. And I'm so thankful for him. And I'm really thankful he came back to play another year. We all had to talk him into it. And then we won another Super Bowl. It's incredible.
Have you seen the Elway documentary yet? Did you watch it on Netflix?
No,
but I lived it.
I'm bummed I didn't make the cut. They interviewed me for that, and I didn't make the cut. No,
that's terrible. How did they leave you on the editing room floor?
I did live it.
You did.
And I see John, and he's been such a great friend and so great to me and my family. And obviously, it was a blessing to get to play with him and win a couple Super Bowls with him. And he was the leader of our team. We had a lot of Hall of Famers on our team. By the way, Mike Shanahan needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he does.
Let's get him in. Had great, future Hall of Fame coach Mike Shanahan, great coaching staff. But John Elway was the center of that. We don't win Super Bowls without John Elway. And I was, as a receiver, I mean, what a blessing, right? I get to catch passes from him. But he was more than just a skilled athlete. Everybody knew about his cannon arm. And he was incredibly athletic. By the time I got there, he had no cartilage in his knees. He was still running around doing the helicopter.
Right.
But it was
cerebral.
It was his leadership.
Yeah.
Well, cerebral. Yeah, he's off the charts smart, but also his ability to get everyone to play better. And I think that's a real skill. I don't know how you measure it, but we had Rod Smith and we scrapped our way to becoming starters and Pro Bowlers, and then you had Shannon Sharp, the most vocal player in the league. And, who's always calling for the ball, but John had a way of saying, okay, shut up, Shannon. Let's look, you're not open. I'll throw it to you if I want to. But Shannon was a big personality in a Pro Bowl, multiple-year Pro Bowl tight end, right? He's a Hall of Famer now. But to have a quarterback who can be a friend with the tight end who's calling for the ball and saying, hey, pump the brakes, buddy. I'll get you the ball when you're open, which he did. To have that kind of guy, and then also talking to the defense, everyone on the field, everyone in the building respected him so much. And he had a way to get everyone to like each other and to play hard for each other. And that's a unique skill. Not everybody has it.
So speaking of unique skills, the amount of unique skills that your son has, it's staggering to me. I have compared him. So look, I was here when he was at Stanford. Knew for sure he was going to be a special player. He goes to Carolina. The numbers speak for himself, but you don't get a lot of Carolina Panther games here in the Bay Area. The same way you didn't get a lot of Oklahoma City Thunder games in the Bay Area. And it wasn't until Kevin Durant was in front of me playing every game that I truly appreciated how great he was. And I say the same thing about your son, Christian McCaffrey, all the time. Until he is in front of you, until you're watching what he does on 2nd and 7, what doesn't make the highlight reel, everything he does, he is one of the greatest athletes I have ever covered in my time covering future Hall of Famers and great athletes out here. I think Christian McCaffrey is on that one line with Steph Curry, with Barry Bonds, with the best of the best of the best. You must be incredibly proud of your son and what he has done in this league.
Well, thank you. That's an incredible compliment, and I appreciate your words. And I am incredibly proud of him. And this year, I think, was historic for him. He worked so hard to get back on the field and play well. And he had an incredible high number of touches, but had to contribute in the run game and the pass game. But what you don't see sometimes, because the numbers do mean something. They kind of tell you what kind of production a player is getting, but they don't tell you the whole story. And to your point, what you see and what you don't see. We saw the work ethic that he had and the commitment he had to get back on the field and perform at a high level. What a lot of fans don't see when they watch the game is how the defense is affected by an offensive player. Do you change the game? Do you change the game for the other team? How do they game plan you? How do they defend you? Right?
He's the whole fucking game plan. He's the whole game plan.
So I will say this, as a former player and coach, I watch everything, and every single team designs their defense to stop them, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. So as a running back, he doesn't just run routes out of the backfield. He can line up and run receiver routes. There's a handful of running backs in the history of the league that can do that.
At no point in time has he been further away from the third best running back in football. He is also in the top 6 wide receivers in the league. If he decided, I don't want to play any more running back, I want to be a slot receiver, he'd be a Pro Bowl slot receiver.
Thank you. I think the same. And what you don't see, though, like the average fan, doesn't see, especially on television, because they don't even show you the whole field, but like when he runs routes out of the backfield, I'd say 90% of the time he's bracketed. He's double teamed, right? So which to the average person, if you're listening, means if he cuts left, there's a guy that will guard him to the left. If he cuts right, there's a guy that will guard him to the right, and they either high-low him or inside out. And so he's double teamed or bracketed on almost every play in the passing game. And so what you hope that does is open things up for the other guys on your team. And I really thought, he did such a phenomenal job of that. And also, they were missing a couple receivers this year, right? One didn't play the whole season. That was their number one.
Yeah, they were missing all their receivers essentially this year.
And so what does that mean a team does? Well, they're going to stack the box on you, right? And so now you're running into really difficult looks. So you're running into, 7-man fronts where they're supporting fast or 8-man fronts all day, every running play, which makes it hard for everyone to block it as well. And then in the passing game, you're getting bracketed. So to be able to do what he did this year, I told him, look, I know you guys didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but what you personally accomplished and what your team accomplished to win 12 games,
it's pretty remarkable.
Under these dire situations, losing guys on the defense like Fred Warner and Bosa, like captains, leaders, best in the league. And you guys still found a way to win 12 games, and you personally still found a way to play the whole season and have that kind of production, given the looks that you were seeing. It was historic. I think Kyle Shanahan is a coach of the year for being able to pull it off, and I think Christian faced the hardest looks in the run game and the passing game that he may ever face in his lifetime.
I've said this about your son. I hope you take it for the compliment I mean it as. He is Kyle Shanahan's heroin, and any other running back is just the methadone. And when you have the real smack, you don't leave the heroin for the other thing. Are you worried about how overused your son is? I mean, it's 400 touches, 430 touches. It is a dependence on Christian McCaffrey that, I'm worried about the kind of year Christian will be able to have next year, just given the tread that came off his tires this year, coming off of the bilateral Achilles tendonitis, which is something I never even heard of before Christian had it. Do you think that Kyle Shanahan overuses your son at times?
No, you know what? I've always said this about Christian. The number one thing you have to do with him is protect him for himself. Because if you're running suicides after practice or sprints back and forth, and you're like, okay, one more, and then you keep going, he'll never stop. How many are we doing? How many plays you want to play? You want to play defense, special teams? Receiver, running back. You can't get him off the field.
Is that you? Is that your wife? Is that the stubbornness of the McCaffrey family tree? What is that?
Well, you're going to get me in trouble. Yeah, talking about stubbornness. No, it's just he loves football. He loves being on the field. And our kids were raised to believe that they're football players. What does that mean? That means I'll do whatever the coach asks me to do. They played on offense and defense growing up. They played different positions growing up. What can I do for my team? I'm willing to do it. You tell me. And he never wants to get taken off the field. So Kyle will tell you, yeah, he doesn't want to come out. He won't come out of the game. I got to beg him to take a rest. I thought he did a better job this year because he was getting a lot of touches of raising his hand. And, if he got 3 carries in a row, saying, hey, give me one play off. And he was more willing to do that. And I think it was key. But regarding the tread, I think look, I get it happens to some running backs, but I've seen some older running backs crushing it every year. And so that's it depends on the individual. He played in the Pro Bowl 7-on-7 game the other day. And he said, this is the best I've felt after a season in years.
That's outstanding.
You know what I mean? It's because I couldn't believe it. It's just a flag game, but I'm running around. I'm like, oh, my goodness, I haven't felt this good in forever. And I think last year, coming off an injury and working on that all offseason, and then going into the season like he had this year and the team had this year with the difficult looks they faced offensively, has to be the hardest year he'll ever have in his life, in my opinion, in terms of the level of difficulty. So combining the difficult year last year with an offseason and then the production he had, given the most difficult test of his and the team's lives, and now feeling incredible after the season.
That's great news.
Thank
you for sharing that.
Great news.
That's great news.
No, we just talked about it. It's like, oh my goodness, I felt so good just jogging around there, and they were running around having fun in a 7-on-7 game, and he hasn't felt that way in a long time. And some of that has to do with if you just happen to get an injury late in the season. Like the last game of the season was a game 20. He got a shoulder stinger there at the end. Fine. It's like, yeah, it was bad during the game, and now it feels fine, and the legs feel great. My body feels great.
That's
and
great.
He was smiling. Like, everybody's bummed they're not in the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Like, he wants to be in the Super Bowl, but physically he's like, this is the best I've felt in years.
This NFC West was a monster this year. Are
Yeah.
you leaning one way or the other in this Super Bowl? I think it's going to be Seattle and Seattle loud.
Yeah, I think the three best teams in the league were all in the same division
Yeah.
this year, and it's unfortunate for the Niners, but they played really well, beat both of those teams and during the regular season. But considering the adversity, it's amazing that this 49ers team won 12 games. And I want to give credit to the guys that stepped up, the second teamers, the third teamers, the guys we signed in December to play in a playoff game, right? That's what was happening.
Eric Kendricks, man.
Credit. Yeah, what a game he had.
Yeah.
What a run he had the last couple games of the season. And give those guys credit. If you were in the locker room, you felt the culture. It was palpable. Like, these guys believed in each other. They trusted each other. They knew the adversity they were facing, and they continued to battle. And young guys stepped up and new guys stepped up. And you could just feel it. Like, these guys, even though it was tough, were having fun playing football and had the utmost respect for each other. And I think that's the only way, given all the guys they lost during the season, that you can win 12 games like that and get a playoff win against Philly on the road, right? I mean, so yeah, we want to win a Super Bowl, but considering everything, what a heck of a year for this team.
And I look at how Christian is at the center of everything they do, and obviously he's at the center of what you must be just so proud of as a father. I think of, he brings home Miss Universe. Not bad. He is one of the single most remarkable athletes I've ever seen in my life. And then to just compound on all of that, he was named this year's Salute to Service NFL recipient winner. Let me tell you, man, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and you raised one hell of an apple.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Christian's a good kid, man. We'll keep him.
I bet you will. I bet you will. Now, everybody's got a little something to do and sell here. I love rubs. What are we talking about here?
No, we're talking about granola.
granola.
Well, we're talking about, look, we've been selling mustard since 1998. We started with our spicy brown. We have a horseradish sauce. We deviated we have yellow, of course, chipotle, sriracha. We're coming out with a smoky horseradish. People love our products. So now in Colorado, for the people under 30, I'm either the mustard guy or I'm Christian's dad, right? And so, but they're incredibly healthy. I started out with mustard because I put it on everything: chicken, turkey sandwiches. I was trying to be really healthy. You put it on a lot of bland.
Are you definitively anti-ketchup?
Sources. No, I like ketchup too. But
all right,
we're coming out with a ketchup that does not have high fructose corn syrup in it because we don't want any unhealthy ingredients. All of our products are incredibly healthy, and we use premium ingredients. But we also launched a healthy snack product. We had our protein bites. They got sent to the hotel, and then everybody ate them. So they're gone. But we do have some granola samples, which we're coming out with this year as well. And again, gluten-free, non-GMO, super healthy ingredients. The taste unbelievable. It's hard to make healthy food taste great, and that's what we're trying to do. So we have our protein bites. Protein's important. And we have granola, which is incredibly good, great tasting. And so we have our products like mustard and horseradish that are used to make good food taste better when you're tailgating, when you're grilling, when you're mixing up potato salad or salad dressings or recipes. And we have our healthy foods that we made taste great. And we're going to come out with more and more of them. So that's kind of the goal. The kids were always on the go. We're on the go, sports, school, you name it. You need something healthy to snack on during the day instead of reaching for that junk food. So that's what we're here to do.
Ed, I've had you on my radio show once or twice. This is the first time I've ever met you in person. Thank you so much for coming on by today.
My pleasure. Thank you. I got to say, or I'll get in trouble. You can buy everything on Amazon.
Of course, or you go to McCaffreyBrands.com.
McCaffreyBrands.com or Amazon, or Dick's Sporting Goods has all of our protein products, and King Soopers, which is Kroger and Safeway, have our mustard and horseradish sauces as well. Thank you for allowing me to share with everybody what we're doing now, and it was fun talking Niners and Christian.
It was a pleasure. I tell you, you must be so proud. Again, my 6-year-old son he got 4 flags in a flag football game, and I'm beaming. I can only imagine what it's like for you.
It doesn't change. It doesn't. Being a dad, right? You're a dad. You love your kid. You want the best for him. How we feel watching these games isn't any different than when he was 8. He's our kid. We love him. We're proud of him. And, we love that he's doing what he loves to do.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Thank you so much.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I really mean it. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Ed McCaffrey, boys and girls. That's the man right there. That guy, not only did he play well, but he certainly produced very well. Way to produce in your life. Thank you so much, Ed, for coming on by. Thank you. Do I get to keep one of these? Do I get to keep one?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think we have probably keep it. Yeah, what the heck? Which way? So yeah, we have golden cinnamon raisin, wild blueberry lemon.
I'm taking cinnamon raisin. I'm taking cinnamon raisin.
Let me know what you think.
I will certainly will.
More on the way.
You know what? Here we go. We're gonna do a live taste test right here. Let's go.
That's dangerous. I did that one time with another product and started talking while I was eating. I know why they tell you not to talk with your mouth full. Good?
It's delicious.
Thank you.
Absolutely
I think
delicious.
so. You're not going to find a healthier, more delicious granola on the planet.
Here, if you want the least healthy sandwich that you can possibly get, have a Damon Bruce from Ike Sandwiches. I got onion rings on my sandwich. There we go. I got onion rings and steak and cheese, and it's not good for you. I want you to enjoy it.
Thank you. Ike made a great sandwich for us last year and put one of our healthy mustards on. I believe he used this Chipotle mustard on it, but he doesn't have mustard in his stores. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
We're trying to talk him into it. Maybe one day he'll come around.
Get the McCaffrey brand in there.
Maybe one day he'll come around. I don't know.
Get the McCaffrey brand in there.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much. Again, a real pleasure. Real pleasure. Thank you so very much to Ed McCaffrey for coming on by the show today. Awesome to finally meet him in person. And again, what a gift he has given the Bay Area. A career at Stanford, his own, his son's, and now with the 49ers. It's keep it up. Would you have another kid for us? We're going to need another running back in about 6-7 years. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and get us another one. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to keep going here. There's no official output. You can get up and walk away at this particular time. No, I think his mic got turned down.
I have said goodbye like 5 times now, so yeah, thank you.
You can go.
Yeah.
I officially
Am I out
release
here?
you, sir.
When you need more granola, let me know.
I will.
It'll fuel you throughout your day. It's buzzing here on Radio Row.
It is. It absolutely is. Thank you so much to Ed McCaffrey. Fantastic stuff from a hell of a guy. And the granola is really good. I'm not crapping you. It's really, really good. A lot of cinnamon in there. And I'm a cinnamon guy. I'm a cinnamon toast crunch guy through and through. Oh my gosh, it is very busy in here right now. Thanks so much to Jeffrey Simmons and Ed McCaffrey for coming on by today. It was just fantastic having them on. Really, really good guys. And again, can you imagine what a proud father he is? Not only is my son one of the greatest football players of all time, not only did he bring home Miss Universe, but he also was just named the NFL's Salute to Service Award winner with all the work that he's done for veterans and the military families that he's helped support in his career. Very, very cool. I was kind of surprised that he's not a little bit more, I don't want to say upset about his son's usage, but he just basically says, look, it's hard to get him off the field. And there's absolutely no doubt about that. It is hard to get Christian McCaffrey off the field. He is Kyle Shanahan's heroin. He can't put the heroin down. Every other running back is just methadone to Kyle. He's got Lady H in Christian McCaffrey, and there's no going away from that. So I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed talking to both of our guests today. And, I was surprised that no mustard at Ike's. I did not know that either. And, of course, Ed also played for the 49ers, but it was just 1 year. He's a Denver Bronco. When Ed McCaffrey goes to sleep, he does not dream of being a Niner. He's a Denver Bronco. There's no doubt about it. Thanks to our guests today. Thanks so much to everyone who has gotten us up and on the air today. No one more important to that happening than Andrew Bach, who's just been an absolute pleasure to work with. Rarely in my career have I been able to work with such a pro all the way around. Andrew, thank you for everything you're doing. I'm looking forward to another couple days working together. Aaron Glatzer, again, is inventor of all of this ShowUs.tv technology. And what I really want to set up here is Friday. We're going to turn it into a Sports Phone Friday, where I want people calling in. I want to hear from you on Friday. So if you're one of my regulars, start looking for the sign-up page to come on in on Friday, and we're going to get the entire media row introduced to the Plus regulars. We'd love to have you up and hear from you then on Friday when we do a Sports Phone Friday, because that's my brand now. They didn't want it, I want it. So that's the way it goes. Let's see. As always, we don't have much tradition, but we end things around here with a today in history. And let me tell you, we got an interesting day in history today. We, of course, start with happy birthdays. Happy birthday to Alice Cooper. School's out for summer. School's out forever. 78 years old, Alice Cooper. Hell of a golfer, too. Since this is a Super Bowl, let me tell you, one of the greatest players to ever play in a Super Bowl, any football game. Happy 67th birthday to Lawrence Taylor today, LT, 67 years old. Oscar De La Hoya, 53. Former Daily Show correspondent and comedian Rob Corddry is 55. If you enjoy Hot Tub Time Machine, you know who I'm talking about. Hannibal Buress, also a great comedian, 43 years old today. He helped put Bill Cosby in prison, and he really did. He brought to light a subject that nobody was talking about until he made it part of his act. Let's see. Oh, a little peace pipe got smoked today in 1783. Britain formally ceased hostilities within the American colonies. So the end of the Revolutionary War was made official today in 1783. And what do you know, in 1789, today, George Washington elected as the first president of the United States. Had the current guy been in there, he would have told you that it was a rigged election and don't believe the truth, which is what we were talking about with journalism earlier. And I've said enough already. Today in 1826, the last of the Mohegans, the one thing they made you read in middle school that you actually enjoyed reading, James Fenimore Cooper, Last of the Mohegans, today in 1826. Today in 1932. And by the way, it started today. Do you realize that curling started today? Before we even get to the Winter Olympic opening ceremonies, curling is underway. And the Winter Olympics were held this day in Lake Placid back in 1932. Only 17 countries came to that Winter Olympiad. It would grow much more the next time around when Lake Placid hosted again in the 80s. But that was one of the Winter Olympics that they thought maybe the Winter Olympics ain't going to make it. But it has, and it's starting on Friday. And I love the Winter Olympics. Give me ski jump. Give me ski jump. Give me speed skating. And I'm not even kidding. That women's long-form figure skating program is the most amount of sports tension you can find on your television. You got this ballerina on skates who's worked her entire life to get to these 2.5 minutes. And forget about falling. If she wobbles once, it's over. Oh, I love it. I love the Winter Olympics. I really do. Plus, we're going to get hockey. Macklin Celebrini on Team Canada. Might have to pull for Team Canada a little bit. Let's see. Today in 1938, Walt Disney not only gave us Snow White, he gave us 7 dwarves to go along with her. Today in 1957, the official sale and use and proliferation of the Smith Corona typewriter began. The electric portable typewriter, which, if that's what we still used, it would greatly have changed the sound in this room right now if we were still using electric portable typewriters. In about as San Francisco of a story as you're going to find, today in 1974, Patty Hearst, the heiress of the William Randolph Hearst newspaper empire, was kidnapped by members of the Siboney's Liberation Army. And all I can tell you is that she wasn't kidnapped. They had the dope weed, and she was probably banging 3 dudes in the group, and she had fun, and she got a little raw, and the rich girl got out from underneath daddy's thumb. And they claim she was brainwashed. Sure, honey. There's no way that would have flown in 2026. You ain't getting brainwashed. You wanted to hold up banks. You wanted to be a wild child. No doubt about it. Speaking of wild childs, today in 1991, Pete Rose was banned for life from the Baseball Hall of Fame. And now that Pete Rose is dead, he should be allowed in the Hall of Fame. He deserved to be in the Hall of Fame as much as he deserved his lifetime ban. Now that his life's over, put him in. Put him in. Oh, 2 other teensy, eensy, weensy little things happened in today in history. Today in 1997, a civil jury in California found O.J. Simpson liable for the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. He'll tell you he didn't do it. We knew he was lying. There would be no questions about DNA evidence if it were happening now. This guy got away with murder, except when this point, and he had to be $8.5 million to the Goldmans, and I think he had to sell his Heisman and everything about that. Oh, Chase Sr., good to see you, man. Good to see you. We got to have Chase on. Hey, Chase, are you around tomorrow, the next day? Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to have you on. Chase Sr., the man who gave more substation air than anyone else on the planet. And then he's like, here's what I think a stadium should be. Should be at the Golden Gate Bridge. And the whole internet was like, fuck you! How dare you draw a picture? It was, dude, the overreaction was a bit much. But imagine if you had designed a stadium on top of the Liberty Bell. They would have crushed you in Philadelphia, too. We'll talk about that later this week. Chase Sr. is one of the absolute best 49er content creators out there, and he'll be joining us a little bit later on in the week. The other thing that happened today in 2004, the Facebook went online. Drop the. It's cleaner. Hey, thank you so much to everyone who made today's show happen. Thank our guests again, Jeffrey Simmons and Ed McCaffrey. As you see, we are booking more guests as the damn show is happening. That's how it works down here. We want to thank Ike's. We want to thank the Dubliner West Portal. We want to thank our friends at Sleeper. Kashi, back producing. Thank you, Kashi. Thank you to Andrew Bach, to Aaron Glatzer, to everyone involved in ShowUs.tv. Steve Marshall, still celebrating Indiana's national championship somewhere. He's been unavailable all week, possibly comatose under the bar at Monahan's. We'll find out at some point in time where Steve is. But thanks to everyone for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And please do remember, as you go about what I hope is a fantastic day, that sports don't build character. They reveal it, and like that, he's gone.